What's up, you guys? This is Jay Youngo2 back with another video, and in this video today I'm going to be discussing Gordon Hayward. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more basketball content. Let's get into it. It's been a long journey for Gordon Hayward.
Because this is not your typical injury.
Right. I mean, emotionally, it's hard on me. I love to play the game of basketball, and so to sit there and not be able to play, it gets kind of frustrating. I remember looking at it, and it just doesn't look normal and didn't look right at all. That'll definitely be with me for forever.
You know, for once, it's actually kind of good to say Michael Jordan has actually been making some pretty good decisions now as an NBA owner for it seems like the first time in his NBA career. Yeah, I'm throwing shots at MJ right now, literally, because, you know, as we all know, MJ hasn't been known really well throughout his, business career when it comes to the NBA, really being a good owner. But now it seems like he's been making the right decisions for this Hornets team, especially for the future, and getting Gordon Hayward has definitely turned out to be a pretty good decision, and obviously drafting LaMelo Ball. This team seems like it's going to be going into the right direction. And that veteran guy who is the star player right now for the Hornets, this young team, is Gordon Hayward. And as we all know, Gordon Hayward just a few seasons ago came off one of the most devastating injuries, one of the most horrifying injuries I've ever seen watching this game live on national television myself. When I saw this injury, it was the worst thing I've ever seen. And his comeback story, obviously going back to the Celtics, he played still at a pretty decent level. But if you could tell, especially last season, he averaged over 17 points a game, that there was still a lot left in his tank, that he can still contribute to a really good team. But when you looked at the Celtics, they already had a lot of potential already on the roster, especially with the rise of Jaylen Brown, and they had Kemba Walker, and they had that guy in Jason Tatum. This team was already loaded with talent, and, having Gordon Hayward was a really good piece still for this team. But if you remember his days on the Utah Jazz, Gordon Hayward was a pretty solid two-way player. He can defend at a pretty decent level. He was a great scorer. He can score at many levels. So there was still a lot left in his tank from the former Gordon Hayward who was on the Utah Jazz. And we're seeing that right now on this Hornets team. This season, he's averaging 21.5 points a game, shooting 48% from the field. He's averaging 5.5 rebounds and almost around 4 assists per game for this young Hornets team. And many of us were skeptical about Michael Jordan giving Gordon Hayward a really big contract, but as I've said before, it's turned out to really pay off. Really, this guy could have possibly been an all-star this season as well. But if there's one thing I definitely have to say, if there's one team right now that's really missing out on Gordon Hayward, and that is the Celtics, because everything that what he provided right now, what he's doing is what the Celtics need on their team right now. Because the Celtics, as we all know, they're below 500 now. They are not playing good basketball. It's just simple as that. They can't make any of their shots. Kemba Walker looks washed up now. There's many, many bad things on the Celtics team. The only two bright sides is the rise of Jaylen Brown, who's playing at a very high level this year, and he made the All-Star team, and alongside Jason Tatum as well, but he's been out with COVID and things like that as well. So this team really hasn't been able to all play together this year. So right now, without having Gordon Hayward in this team, you can definitely see, that he would have been still a huge asset on this team, but they really didn't want him, it seems like, anymore in Boston anyway. He had to go from that team. And now with this Hornets team, Gordon Hayward is definitely taking on that veteran role on this team because, he's been in the league now for a long time, and he has had success in his NBA career. And going on this young Hornets team is definitely turned out to be a really good decision for Hayward because, this Hornets team, they have a very bright future with LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, Devontae Graham. Right now, this Hornets team, they're in the mix in the Eastern Conference to contend for a playoff spot this year. That's really impressive for this team. But looking at Gordon Hayward, his story is, very inspiring to see what all he went through, especially coming off that devastating injury. That injury was very devastating, but we all know that he went to the Hornets. He could have went to the Pacers, I believe, as well, too, but he went to the Hornets to really just prove and show that he's definitely still an all-star level player, and, he's definitely proved that to everyone this season. Props to him, and I still believe that he still has a few good years left in his tank still to play at a pretty high level. But I hope you guys enjoyed this brief video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more basketball content each and every week. Have a good day. Peace.